The Ultimate Fighting Championship has long been the pinnacle of mixed martial arts, showcasing not only the toughest fighters, but also some of the most dramatic and awe-inspiring moments in combat sports history. From unexpected upsets to jaw-dropping finishes, the UFC has consistently delivered action that keeps fans on the edge of their seats. Today, we're diving into the top 10 most epic moments in UFC history. These are the instances that have defined the sport, moments that have left a permanent mark on the UFC and its fans. Let's explore these unforgettable instances in the Octagon. 10th, Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen, UFC 117, 2010.
All right, gentlemen, you've been given your instructions. I expect a clean fight.
In white trunks. Southpaw against southpaw. Silva wants to wall walk. USA here in the sold-out Oracle Arena, Oakland, California.
Anderson Silva's fight against Chael Sonnen at UFC 117 in 2010 is one of the most thrilling and unexpected comebacks in UFC history. Silva, the reigning middleweight champion, was on top of the MMA world, but he faced a serious challenge in Sonnen, a brash, trash-talking wrestler who had a plan to dethrone Silva. From the very beginning of the fight, Sonnen completely outclassed Silva with his wrestling, dominating him for almost 5 rounds. Sonnen controlled Silva on the ground, racking up significant strikes and almost ending the fight early in the 5th round. Many were convinced that Silva's reign was over, and Sonnen's trash talk seemed to be prophetic. However, Silva, known for his calm under pressure, never lost faith in his skills. In the final round, just as it seemed Sonnen was on the verge of victory, Silva demonstrated his exceptional submission game. He locked in a triangle armbar in the dying minutes of the fight, forcing Sonnen to tap out. This comeback solidified Silva's status as one of the greatest UFC champions of all time, showing his ability to perform under intense pressure and retain his title in the most dramatic of circumstances. Silva's victory was a testament to his resilience and mastery in the Octagon, making it one of the most iconic moments in UFC history. 9. Conor McGregor's 13-second knockout of José Aldo, UFC 194, 2015. Conor McGregor's incredible 13-second knockout of José Aldo at UFC 194 in 2015 forever changed the landscape of MMA. At the time, Aldo was widely regarded as the best featherweight fighter in the world, having held the title for nearly a decade. His reign was filled with dominance, and many believed he would defeat McGregor with ease. McGregor, however, was brimming with confidence and made a bold prediction leading up to the fight. He promised to knock Aldo out in the first round. No one took him seriously, as Aldo was known for his aggressive striking and strong fight IQ. The fight started with intense anticipation, but it didn't last long. In a lightning-fast exchange, McGregor landed a perfectly timed left hook.
Referee John McCarthy's called a stop to this contest at 13 seconds of the very first champion of the world, the notorious Conor.
Sent Aldo crashing to the canvas. It was a flawless execution of McGregor's striking ability, and Aldo had no chance to recover. The KO was not only the fastest finish in a UFC title fight, but also one of the most significant upsets in the history of the sport. McGregor's prediction had come true, and in doing so, he not only claimed the featherweight title, but also cemented his status as one of the biggest stars in UFC history. This stunning knockout became one of the defining moments of McGregor's career. 8. Michael Bisping's knockout of Luke Rockhold, UFC 199, 2016.
You ready? You ready? Get out!
Here we go! The champion, the southpaw, in the black trunks.
Excellent momentum, but also his fitness.
Yes.
Michael, even though he took this fight on short notice.
The key to the victory tonight for the Brit.
My goodness.
Michael Bisping.
Michael Bisping's knockout of Luke Rockhold at UFC 199 is one of the most emotional and significant moments in UFC history. For years, Bisping was known as a top middleweight contender who could never quite capture the elusive UFC middleweight title. He fought some of the best in the world, but never got a shot at the championship until an unexpected opportunity arose when he was called up to replace Chris Weidman and fight Luke Rockhold for the belt. Rockhold had previously dominated Bisping in their first encounter, and many believed this fight would be no different. Bisping, however, had other plans. In the first round, Rockhold seemed to be in control, but Bisping's experience and calmness under pressure allowed him to weather the storm. In the second round, Bisping landed a beautiful left hook to Rockhold's chin, knocking him down and finishing him with a flurry of punches. The knockout sent shockwaves through the MMA community, and Bisping's ecstatic celebration became an iconic moment in his career. For Bisping, this win was the culmination of a career spent fighting for respect and recognition. His victory was not only a stunning upset, but also a heartwarming underdog story that made it one of the most memorable moments in UFC history. 7. Nate Diaz, submitting Conor McGregor, UFC 196, 2016. When Conor McGregor stepped into the Octagon to face Nate Diaz at UFC 196, it was supposed to be another showcase of McGregor's dominance.
Is there anything coming into this fight? You only had less than 2 weeks' notice. Was there anything?
A lot of sparring for this camp. Like, by the full camp, I don't think I would have been touched. But he had some good punches and he landed them, so it was good on him.
I'm humble in victory or defeat. I respect Nate. He came in. He took the fight on short notice, came in at 170 and done the job.
McGregor, fresh off his featherweight title win, was looking to move up and claim the lightweight belt. Diaz, however, was a massive underdog in the fight, stepping in on short notice to replace Rafael dos Anjos. McGregor was known for his powerful left hand and precise striking, but Diaz had an entirely different skill set, relying on his incredible submission game and endurance. In the first round, McGregor looked sharp, landing his signature left hand and seemingly controlling the fight. However, as the rounds progressed, Diaz began to find his rhythm, absorbing McGregor's punches while taunting him and landing his own shots. In the second round, Diaz rocked McGregor with a left hook and then immediately transitioned to his grappling game. He took McGregor down and eventually locked in a rear naked choke. McGregor, exhausted and unable to escape, tapped out, giving Diaz the stunning submission victory. The upset was a massive shock to the UFC world, and Diaz's victory was a testament to his skill, resilience, and ability to thrive under pressure. It was a moment that proved Diaz's toughness and sent shockwaves through the sport. 6. Georges St-Pierre's return and win over Michael Bisping, UFC 217, 2017.
11 to get a UFC branded big gulp for a chance to instantly win prizes.
Got him with the right hand over the top, and he looks smooth. George looks good. He looks relaxed. Big. He looks very big and relaxed. His footwork looks excellent.
Now Mike's starting to come forward a little bit. This is going to be his best.
Georges St-Pierre's return to the UFC at UFC 217 in 2017 was nothing short of legendary. After a 4-year hiatus, St-Pierre, one of the greatest mixed martial artists in history, came back to fight Michael Bisping for the middleweight title. St-Pierre had previously dominated the welterweight division, but his decision to move up in weight to challenge Bisping for the middleweight belt raised eyebrows. Many wondered if the 36-year-old St-Pierre, who had been out of competition for years, could handle Bisping's power and experience at middleweight. The fight was a classic battle of styles, with St-Pierre's superior striking and grappling against Bisping's range and knockout power. The fight was competitive, with Bisping landing some significant strikes, but St-Pierre's cardio, technique, and calm demeanor shone through. In the third round, St-Pierre rocked Bisping and secured a rear naked choke submission, forcing Bisping to tap out and claim the middleweight title. St-Pierre's victory was not just a triumph in terms of his comeback, but also a statement about his place in MMA history. He became the 4th fighter in UFC history to win titles in multiple weight classes, solidifying his legacy as one of the sport's all-time greats. 5. Jorge Masvidal's 5-second knockout of Ben Askren, UFC 239, 2019. Jorge Masvidal's 5-second knockout of Ben Askren at UFC 239 is one of the most iconic and lightning-fast finishes in UFC history. The fight had been hyped for months, with Masvidal's striking prowess pitted against Askren's world-class wrestling. Askren, a former Bellator champion and Olympic wrestler, was widely considered to be a grappling specialist who could neutralize Masvidal's striking. Fans were eagerly awaiting a tactical battle between the two, but Masvidal had other ideas. As the fight began, Masvidal charged toward Askren with a flying knee, landing flush on Askren's head and knocking him out cold in just 5 seconds. It was a perfectly timed and executed strike that left the entire arena in shock. The knockout not only set a UFC record for the fastest finish in a fight, but also solidified Masvidal's status as one of the most dangerous strikers in the welterweight division. The moment instantly became a viral sensation, with fans replaying the knockout over and over. Masvidal's performance sent a clear message to the UFC welterweight division, proving that he was a force to be reckoned with. 4. Daniel Cormier's victory over Stipe Miocic, UFC 226, 2018.
Looks like some swelling under the right eye of Stipe. A lot of heavyweights that throw combos like that.
Oh, he stunned him with that jab.
Oh, he hurt him!
At UFC 226, Daniel Cormier achieved one of the most remarkable feats in UFC history when he moved up from light heavyweight to heavyweight to challenge Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title. Cormier, a dominant light heavyweight champion, was facing Miocic, the longest reigning heavyweight champion in UFC history. Many believed Miocic would overpower Cormier with his size and strength, but Cormier's technique, striking, and wrestling proved to be the difference. In the first round, Miocic controlled the action, landing some solid strikes and taking Cormier to the mat. But Cormier remained calm and strategic. In the second round, Cormier delivered a perfect right hook to Miocic's chin, knocking him out cold and capturing the UFC heavyweight title. Cormier became only the second fighter in UFC history to hold titles in 2 weight classes simultaneously, joining Conor McGregor in this exclusive club. Cormier's victory was not only a career-defining moment, but also a testament to his skill, adaptability, and legacy as one of the greatest fighters in MMA history. 3rd, Ronda Rousey's 14-second knockout of Bethe Correia, UFC 190, 2015.
And determined to win this title.
She most certainly is determined, and she better be.
Is strong mentally and is ferocious in opponent. 11-0 in a total time of 12.
Went over the rules in the back, but to protect yourself at all times and obey my commands at all times.
For whatever happens.
Ronda Rousey's 14-second knockout of Bethe Correia at UFC 190 is one of the most iconic moments of her reign as the UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion. By 2015, Rousey had already established herself as a dominant force in women's MMA, with a string of impressive victories, including several finishes in the first round. Correia, who had been trash-talking Rousey in the lead-up to the fight, was eager to claim the title and defeat the unbeaten champion. But Rousey wasted no time in proving her dominance. From the opening bell, Rousey closed the distance and unloaded a powerful right hand that knocked Correia out cold in just 14 seconds. It was a stunning and decisive finish that highlighted Rousey's striking power, which many hadn't fully appreciated until then. The knockout further solidified Rousey as one of the greatest fighters in UFC history and cemented her status as the first true superstar in women's MMA. Rousey's ability to end fights so quickly and efficiently made her a household name and an inspiration for countless athletes around the world. The Ultimate Fighter finale, Forrest Griffin versus Stephan Bonnar, 2005.
He is fun to watch. Josh Koscheck, an incredible
2 losses. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighed in at 205 pounds.
Inside leg kick by Bonnar.
I thought Forrest was supposed to wait to get punched first. Oh, trying that overhead.
Nice fake with the kick and then the overhand by right.
The fight between Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonnar at the Ultimate Fighter finale in 2005 is often credited with saving the UFC and launching the sport into mainstream popularity. At the time, the UFC was struggling to gain traction, but the intense and bloody war between Griffin and Bonnar brought the sport into the spotlight. Both fighters were contestants on the inaugural season of The Ultimate Fighter, and their rivalry had built up to this highly anticipated finale. The fight was a thrilling back-and-forth battle that saw both fighters display tremendous heart and toughness. They exchanged brutal punches, kicks, and grappling sequences, each fighter refusing to back down. The final round was filled with blood, sweat, and determination, as they fought for the title and a contract with the UFC. In the end, Griffin was awarded the decision victory, but both fighters earned a place in UFC history. The fight was so exciting that it helped propel the UFC into the mainstream and set the stage for the organization's meteoric rise in popularity. It was a turning point for the UFC, one that helped establish MMA as a global sport. 1. Khabib Nurmagomedov's victory over Conor McGregor, UFC 229, 2018.
And we are underway. McGregor in green, Nurmagomedov in black.
Lifting your heel up. It's just different how he holds you there. Most people can get away when you do that. Nice pass, straight to half guard. And now the pressure is just heavy here. You could tell he's...
At UFC 229, Khabib Nurmagomedov faced Conor McGregor in one of the most highly anticipated fights in UFC history. The build-up to the fight was filled with controversy, personal attacks, and bad blood between the two fighters. McGregor, the former champion, was looking to reclaim his lightweight title, while Khabib, the undefeated champion, was determined to defend his belt and maintain his flawless record. The fight itself was a masterclass in grappling by Khabib, as he dominated McGregor on the ground and eventually submitted him in the 4th round. However, the real story came after the fight, when Khabib leaped over the cage and charged toward McGregor's cornerman, sparking a massive brawl in the arena. Despite the chaos, Khabib's victory was historic. He not only defended his title but also solidified his place as one of the greatest fighters of all time. The intensity and drama surrounding this fight have made it one of the most epic moments in UFC history. The UFC has given fans countless unforgettable moments throughout its history, and these top 10 most epic moments are just the beginning. From dramatic comebacks to stunning knockouts and emotional victories, these moments have helped shape the sport into what it is today. Each of these fights, whether it was a comeback, an upset, or a defining moment, has captured the essence of what makes the UFC so thrilling to watch. If you're a fan of combat sports, these moments are forever etched in the history of the UFC, and their impact will continue to be felt for years to come. Thank you for joining me on this journey through some of the most iconic UFC moments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible UFC content.